folks, ladies and gentle cars, my name is Farkle8000, and welcome back to the September competition. The competition that is unfortunately not being held in September, but however is still rolling right along. We're in round number 2, that is what we are running today. Here is a reminder of all of the competitors who have advanced to round number 2. They will all be racing today, but a quick thing to see here, a couple of stats. We have 3 New Yorkers advancing to the next round. That is Department, York, and Taxi. And then we have only a few competitors from the top 10 conversation advancing to the next round as well. Those being Carrera, Mach, Diablo, Stingray, Virtual, and Voltage. So those are the competitors involved in the conversation. And then we have all the top 3 who advanced to this round as well, with Comic, Roadster, and Demon. That is in order of how they will race in this competition. Comic is, of course, your points leader, Demon in second, Roadster in third. So quite a lot of storylines to watch and pay attention to as we begin to run this second round. I believe that is everything I wanted to mention. A lot to talk about, and so little time to get to it. So, without further ado, let's start racing in round number 2. We begin round number 2 from right to left with Mini, 55, 30, and Citron. And it looks to be a relatively even start, maybe 55 falling behind, a big bounce there for 30, but she straightens up. It's now 55 and Citron fighting for the win. 55 will take the victory. 55 was falling back quite a bit early, but then quickly pulled forward through that transition as 30 bounced big and Citron and Mini did not carry the speed. 30 just drove straight on through to grab the win. She's advancing to round number 3. And I think this is the furthest she's ever got in a competition, so who knows what can happen next. Maybe she can go all the way. Next up, we've got Department, 13, One-Liner, and Speeder. Department in lane number 1 is the first of 3 New Yorkers to have advanced to round number 2. And it looks to be a relatively even start. Maybe Speeder slightly ahead of bounce there for the middle lanes. One-Liner's off the track. I think 13 is as well. Everyone's actually off the track. Department will win the race. Speeder will bounce off his finish line piece. And we're going to have a triple DNF in round number 2. 13, One-Liner, and Speeder. They line up like that in reverse order. And Department, the only one to finish the race. And so he's going to take the victory. Wow, it didn't, for once, it didn't look like there was anything major through that transition. Just some small bounces, and, well, those small bounces ended in absolute disaster. For everyone who wasn't named Department, you see here, Department in lane number 4 coming down through this transition. 13 gets off the track, and he has to swerve into the wall in order to get by. That was an impressive drive right there for Department. Becomes, I believe, only the 3rd New Yorker to have ever made it to round number 3. Because Courtesy did it in the last competition, and Sprinter did it in the February competition. Next up, we've got Nova, Fender, and Rookies, X-Train, and Twin Mill. And it looks to be a relatively even start. Don't know who's head through that transition. A bounce there for Fender, who was on the side of the track, but he's in the lead pack, coming to the finish line. It's 3 wide with the Rookies and Fender. And Fender will come out on top. I don't know how he comes out on top. He bounced through that transition. I think Twin Mill did as well. X-Train was nice and clean, but Fender He finished 4th in a competition earlier this season, proving he's still got this speed against rookies, and Fender just essentially took him to school on how to catch up, because that was an impressive drive. Fender advances to the next round. Next up, we've got Howler, Lightning, Horseplay, and Gregson. And it looks to be Gregson slightly, but he quickly gets swallowed up by the pack. A bounce there for every lane. It's Lightning pulling ahead of the pack. A bounce there for Horseplay. He'll come home in 3rd. Howler in 2nd. Your very early leader, Gregson in 4th, but Lightning will take the win. Lightning, a very similar story to so many other veterans this season. He's usually very, very fast, but unfortunately just has had a rough one this season. He's not doing too hot in the points. He's in the same boat as M3, it's Turbo. I think Howler as well is in the rough situation as well in points. And so it's just the veterans not having a very fun time this year, but hey, silver lining. Lightning advances to round number 3. Next up, we've got DeWalt, Johnson, Confetti, and M&M's in an all NASCAR race. And it looks to be a relatively even start. Maybe M&M's in the lead. A bounce there, and Confetti's on his roof. Johnson's falling back, bouncing to the line. DeWalt will take the win. Confetti will DNF on his roof. I thought M&M's was leading that entire flippin' race. What on earth happened? He's leading the race. Johnson bounced big, landed on top of DeWalt. Did that, give DeWalt a speed boost or something? I don't know how on earth DeWalt took the win in this race, but somehow he does. He steals it from M&M's, and unfortunately, Confetti DNFs, finishes last. Johnson, with that big bounce, does finish, but in 3rd. Next up, we've got Hamlin, Python, Fangs, and Elliott. The outside lanes are rookies, the middle lanes are veterans. And it looks to be Elliott a slight lead through the transition. Everyone bounces, but Elliott's still clean. He'll take an easy victory. Python is off the track into Fangs. Hamlin will finish in 2nd place, and the 2 blue cars, the middle lanes, Python and Fangs, will DNF. Fangs was off, Python, was off the track into Fangs, slowing them both down. Without that, I think Fangs easily is able to finish. Python might have been able to finish as well, actually not getting into Fangs and everything like that, but unfortunately they were tight coming through that transition, and so they got together and DNF together. It's a rookie 1-2 finish. Elliott advances to the next round. Next up, we've got Christopher, Harvick, Kyle, and Sean. And it looks to be Sean a big lead early. Can he hold it through the transition? He can. He's kind of the only one who can. He's in the lead, coming to the line. He might have lost it coming across the line. And he does. He falls to 3rd. And Harvick will take the win ahead of Kyle. Sean was leading the race through the transition down the track. Kyle even bounced big. He was leading, and then I think that final finish line bounce was not that kind to him, and unfortunately he fell. He fell far behind, and in a race full of NASCARs, the only non-NASCAR nearly won the race. That is a heartbreaking finish for Sean. Next up, we've got Exalta, Armor All, York, and GM. And York in lane number 3 is the second of 3 New Yorkers who have advanced to round number 2. And it looks to be a relatively even start through the transition. A wobble there for each lane. It's York and GM fighting for the lead. A bounce right there hinders York, so GM will take the victory. GM and York were side by side, mirror to mirror, the majority of the track. But coming to that finish line bounce, we've seen it decide many races in this competition, and we'll probably see it decide many races going forward. But York did not handle that bounce correctly. GM, who had already bounced earlier in the race, he was able to handle it. He saw it coming, and he used it to his advantage and took the win. Next up, we've got Carrera, Money Lion, and rookies Beetle and Sunny. And it's Beetle a big lead with Carrera through the transition. A big wreck. It's chaos through the transition. Beetle's trying to do it again, but Sunny will take the win at the last second. And Money Lion will DNF somehow. We only have one single DNF. It was absolute mayhem and chaos as Beetle flipped. Moneyline got off the track, Carrera got on the side of the track, and Beetle nearly went 2 for 2. He got on his roof and turtle rolled all the way to the finish line and was like an inch away from finishing a second race, from winning a second race in this competition on his roof. I mean, I'm calling him Beetle because, like, he's a Volkswagen Beetle. We gotta change his name to Turtle. His name is Turtle from now on. Oh, my goodness. I mean, he's just, wow. I'm speechless right now. We've never seen someone we've never seen someone win on their roof, let alone nearly do it twice in the same competition. Actually, we have seen someone win on their roof. It was what Symbol did to win his first career competition. But, wow, just absolutely insane. Sunny steals the win at the last second. We've got to move on before I keep rambling. Can anything follow up the beautiful chaos that was that last race? I will spare you from the headache. The answer is absolutely not. But I guess we're gonna try, as next up, we've got Busch, Dodge, Baseline, and High Point. And it looks to be Dodge a slight lead coming through the transition. A wobble there, and he was on the side of the track. Baseline takes the lead. He bounces. Coming to the line, he'll take the win ahead of High Point. Dodge falls far behind, a fight for third, and he will take that position. Baseline grabs the win. He was falling behind through that transition and then drove straight to the lead. An impressive drive. And, I mean, a Baseline victory would feed the Diecast competition series for generations. It has been over a year since Baseline went to victory lane. It could happen in this competition, but Baseline, an impressive victory right here to advance himself to round number 3. Next up, we've got Rev, Taxi, Gibbs, and Otto. And it looks to be a very even start through the transition. A big bounce for Taxi. Gibbs was in the air as well. Rev coming to the line. He bounces but will take the win. The fight was for second place. And it's going to be Taxi taking over that position ahead of Otto. Gibbs comes home in last place. He had the speed to advance at around number 1. Finally did that in this competition, but unfortunately bounced through that transition, was unable to capitalize on the amount of raw speed he has to get the win in this one, but it is what it is. At least he finally advanced to round number 2, and he finished this race as well. Rev, a decent start, good transition, a good race to the finish line, and, well, he grabs the win. Clearly deserving, advances to the next round. Next up, we've got Turbo, Comic, Base, and Mock. Lanes 1 and 3 are veterans. Lane 2 and 4 are rookies. And Mock in a lane number 4 is 5th in points, plus 180 to the cut line. But more importantly, Comic in lane number 2 is your points leader by 34 points. His chasers, Demon and Roadster, are ahead of him in this round. I think Roadster runs in the next race, but Comic is up first. He will play his hand for round number 2. Let's see what he does. No surprise, he's going to try and win the race. He's leading through the transition. A wobble! He was up on 2 wheels. Turbo was on the side of the track as well. Bouncing to the finish line. Mach will take the win. Comic just barely holds on to second. And the points lead is in danger. Comic, your points leader, does finish second in this race. He's able to hold off base right there. But he bounced and wobbled, nearly flipped through that transition. Ooh, you want to talk about a bad situation? How about a DNF? Ooh, that was a very, very close. But Comic is able to finish the race second place. Roadster and Demon come next. And so it is a big possibility that Comic loses the points lead with 3 rounds remaining and a victory on the line. Demon could get the points lead by 1 point. I believe he can make up 35 points. Actually, he can make way more than 35 points, so never mind. You can make up 30 points just by making it to round 5. 35 points by making it to round 5 and winning, but then add in all the extra competitors between them. And so if Demon wins this competition, it's going to be bad, as Comic is going to lose the points lead for technically the second time this season. I know he doesn't want that, but he got beat out in this one by his rookie contender, Mach. Mach wants his first career win and to be out of that top 10 conversation. Winning right here, one step closer. Next up, we've got Roadster, Valvoline, Showman, and Drift Rod in an all-rookie race. And I did kind of spoil one of the competitors in this race, of course, Roadster. In lane number 1 is in that championship conversation. He is third in points minus 49 to Comic. If Roadster does not win this race, the max amount of points he can gain is just 3 points. I know Roadster wants to gain more than just 3 points, so winning this race will be a lot better for him. But let's find out. Comic tried his hand. It unfortunately came up just a little bit short. How does Roadster's cards compare to Comic's? And it looks to be very similar. He's leading through the transition, wobbling, but now he's on the side of the track. Valvoline's on his roof. It's gonna be Showman with the win. Roadster is devastatingly gonna finish in second. Valvoline will DNF, but Showman, who technically shouldn't even be here because it should be Croissant, but Showman gets the win. And Roadster, he made a mistake. That was self-inflicted. I mean, there's really not much else I can say. He got on the side of the track. If he was just cleaner, Roadster easily has the speed to have won this race, to have won this competition entirely. But he made a mistake. The pressure got to him. We've talked a lot about pressure in the final rounds, but how about pressure in round number 2 when going for a championship? The spotlight is on you. You must perform to your highest level. Roadster, unfortunately, right here, did not put together a championship performance. There's just one competitor left. Roadster will gain 3 points on your points leader. Roadster's gaining 3 points. How many points will Demon gain? That's a big question. But moving away from that for a moment, I mentioned it, Showman shouldn't even be here, as he was mistakenly put through because it should be Croissant in that position instead. Showman gets the win right here. Illegally, I guess, advances himself to the next round. You know, it just hit me. What happens if Showman wins this competition? Because, like, he shouldn't be here, and yet here he is. I mean, going out with a win. I mean, when you're not even supposed to be there. I mean, talk about taking advantage of a situation. That would be incredible. The only NASCAR to have won a regular competition was Comsco back in Halloween of 2023. So I guess it's possible, but I don't know, but it's not likely either. Anyways, putting that out of my mind and moving on to the next race. Next up, we've got Ziegler, Club, Pace, and Burner. The outside lanes are rookies, the middle lanes are veterans. And it looks to be a relatively even start. Don't know who's ahead. A big bounce, and Club's on his roof. It's a drag race to the finish line. A bounce there for Pace. He'll take the win ahead of Ziegler. Burner will finish the race in third, and Club in NASCAR's Kryptonite of Lane, number 2, will DNF on his roof. The sophomores not faring great. Well, one wins the race with Pace, the other DNFs with Club. The rookies literally finish in the middle, second and third. Pace nearly lost the race through that absolutely crucial finish line bounce, but he was able to build a big enough lead throughout the rest of the race so that didn't exactly matter. He gets the win here, advances himself to round number 3. Next up, we've got Drone, Purple, Ranger, and Diablo. Lanes 1 and 3 are rookies. Lane 2 is a veteran, and Lane 4 with Diablo is a sophomore, and he is 10th in points plus 97 to the cut line. Also, before we get into this race, I did it again. Unfortunately, Ranger's piece was accidentally left up. That is lane number 3's piece was accidentally left up. So, hopefully we don't have a situation like round number 1 where the competitor's going for the victory. Hopefully, Ranger is either easily in the lead or easily in last, because, well, we don't want to do much review, but wanted to point that out, because it's a mistake, and it looks to be Diablo and Purple a slight lead through the transition, a big bounce, and Purple's on a roof, Ranger's off the track, Diablo will get the win, Ranger will finish the race, or at least he'll come across the line. No telling if he would have actually finished the race with his finish piece there. Looked like he had enough speed in order to do that. Drone finishes in second, so it's a rookie 2-3 finish. The veteran Purple, unfortunately, flips on her roof. She was having such a good competition. Very, very strong this season. One of her better years in the diecast competition series. Unfortunately, DNFs on her roof. That is rough right there. It's not rough, though, for Diablo, who gets the win plus 97 to the cut line. I mean, I mentioned it in the last video, having a very quietly good season, a quietly great season, and a quietly elite career as well. Diablo will move deeper into the top 10 with this victory. Next up, we've got Rookie, Stingray, Virtual, Voltage, and Demon. Stingray, Virtual, and Voltage are all a part of the top 10 conversation. Stingray is 4th plus 181. Virtual is 6th plus 151. And Voltage is 7th plus 148. But the most important is Demon, who is in the catbird seat. He is second in points, minus 34 to the points lead. Comic is your points leader. Of course, Comic eliminated earlier in this round. Roadster eliminated earlier in this round. Demon is leaps and bounds ahead of both of them on the track. If he advances to the next round here, it is very likely that Demon takes the points lead. Comic has played his cards, and they came up short. Roadster had very similar cards, but he made a mistake. Does Demon play the same thing, or does he have something different? And it looks to be a very even start through the transition. A bounce right there for each lane. It looks... Oh, Demon hits the wall! And Virtual will take the win! Demon hit the wall coming to the finish line. I think it was that finish line bounce, actually, that I saw him hit instead. No, it was just him hitting the wall. Just before that finish line bounce, he'll finish third, which is worse than finishing second. Duh. But he's going to be gaining, I don't know how many points he's gaining, but he's losing a point that he shouldn't be losing. Virtual running in reverse. Clearly it's working for him. He takes the win. Stingray takes second place in that wall hit by Demon. Was devastating to his championship hopes. I mean, he was able to advance, and that gap will certainly close, I think, by about 12, maybe 15 points. So it's definitely going to close into at least the 20s, but it's not going to be closing as much as it could have been. You might think I'm overreacting of just one, but one single point is what allowed Voltage to advance to the All-Star New Year's tournament this year. And we all know that Voltage won the All-Star New Year's tournament this year. 1 point would be enough for Demon to break that tiebreaker with Comic that he had earlier this year, because he would lose the tiebreaker. 1 point is massive in the grand scheme of things. It could come down to just one single point for the championship. And this finish could be the reason that Demon does not go back-to-back and claim his third overall championship. Virtual advances to the next round. He was plus 151 to the cut line coming into this competition. That's going to grow even more with a berth into round number 3. This is the 17th and final race of round number 2. We've got Blocker, Fortrax, Dual Fueler, and Salty. Everyone except Dual Fueler are rookies. And it's Salty who starts with a big lead through the transition. He bounces up on 2 wheels, but he's perfectly fine to the finish line. He'll take the win ahead of Dual Fueler. And Blocker will come home in third. Fortrax in fourth. Salty continuing to dominate this competition. An easy win round number 1. An easy win round number 2. Is there anyone who can stop him? Oh my goodness. Salty is an unbelievably fast competitor, and he's showing it time and time again. Gets the win right here, and our questions from the last competition have been answered. Even if Dual Fueler hadn't made a mistake in round number 4 in the last competition, there's no chance he would have been able to beat Salty. So that is good to know for future references. Still unfortunate, though. You never know what can happen in the moment in a competition. But Salty, right here, looking to go back-to-back, takes the win in this one, advances to round 3. And here are our race breakdowns. The way that things are ordered, we can actually do this kind of cool, kind of ascending, descending thing. Kind of depends where you look at it. This is actually what we used to do, but then our competitor size, our field size for round number 3 got a little bit too big to be doing that, and so we had to stop. But now we got a nice wide spread right here. There's still plenty of room off to the side. So we've got 5 races for round number 3. Take your picks on who will take the win. I don't have mine at the moment. I will be giving you my picks at the end of round number 3, going into round number 4. On who the top 2 will be. I will not be giving you my final 5 predictions. But there's some great ones in this one, and if I was forced to pick, obviously I'm going Salty. But a baseline win, as I mentioned, would feed Generations. I think a department win as well would feed Generations. I think it'd probably feed a lot more Generations than baseline, because it would be Department's first career win, and it would give him a ton of points towards the New Yorkers tournament. There you go. The end of round number 2 is here, and these are your results. Subscribe down below if you don't want to miss round number 3. Round 4, really the final round, that is in the next video, or even the rest of this season. The points lead is getting very, very interesting. I mentioned it in a video earlier in this competition, but this season has felt a lot like 2020, and 2020 is one of my favorite seasons of the Diecast competition series because of how crazy and unpredictable that season was, and this year has turned out to be the exact same. Like, subscribe, comment down below who you think will win this competition, and until next time, my name is Farkle8000, and we'll see you later.